Hello everybody. How are you doing? All right. Welcome to the KetoMom page. My name is Stephanie. We're going through the book called Worthy. We are on chapter 6, and the lie that she's going through is I should only be seen when I'm happy. So if you are brand new here, welcome to the KetoMom page. I would love to know where you're tuning in from. If you are not brand new and you've been here for a while, you know that I like to go through books. I love to talk about mindset. I think that that's one of the most important things as people are working on losing weight or working on their health. I'm trying to straighten this out. Oh, good grief. I almost tipped over the camera. So, okay, if you're new, I can help you with food and all of the things that you need to know. I was just talking to a lady this morning. We're talking about her health. A sweet, amazing lady. She has the same name as me. And, just helping her understand how to get her health back on track. She is a grandma raising her 10-month-old baby that she never had planned on doing, and she needs energy, and she just needs to lose some weight. So, I'll help you with that. I had a great conversation with her this morning, and she's very, very sweet. And so if you need help with your energy or how do I get started? What does that look like? What should I be eating? There's oftentimes so many people will get so distracted because she said, when I did keto in the past, I thought I needed all of these things, coconut flour and all of this stuff. And in theory, the different flours and different foods 100% can make a difference. But I think sometimes it overwhelms people. And she said, but when I went and I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut the carbs, but if I eat some bologna, I eat some bologna. I'm going to cut out the sugar, but I'm going to eat, meats and veggies and salads. And so she just went to this space where she's like, I'm going to do the best that I can. And she lost 50 pounds, right? So I'm going to talk about that actually later this afternoon. But what I want to talk about is, sorry, that was a squirrel. But the conversation I had with her this morning, I felt was great. And we're going to get her on track, as well as if you have questions about food, how to get started, water intake. We've got a new flavor of ketones that's redropping today. I drink this every single day. It's incredible if you've never tried it. And if you she's ordering ketones too. I'm like, hey, this will help you as a grandma raising your 10-month-old grandson. Energy is amazing. She needs to get on track. She's like, I need to get focused. And this will help her. So if you want to know more about just the tools that I use, ketones, and other things, post ketones in the comments and we'll chat. But I love to talk about mindset. So we've been going through this book. I'm not reading the book to you. We're just going through it chapter by chapter. Today's chapter is called I Should Only Be Seen When I'm Happy. And it's all about perception, perspective, and especially with social media and feeling like you are worthy. Right? Oftentimes we don't reach the goal that we want because we actually don't believe that we're worthy of it. And so she started this off with a quote by Kristen Butler. And here's the quote. Don't forget that while you're busy doubting yourself, someone else is admiring your strength. And this entire chapter has to do with the way that you answer somebody. When somebody says, how is your day? So I'm going to ask you this. How is your day? How is your day right now? How are you doing? And it's easy to go, well, I'm fine. I'm good. It's fine. Because we have created this social media, for the most part, some people air everything on social media, but for the most part, most people share the good. We talk about highlight reels. People will share good things. Even when you're at the store, I'm fine. How you doing? Hey, I'm good. Hey, how's it going at church? I'm good. But are you really good? And she talks about this lie of feeling like you can't actually talk to somebody or be seen unless you're happy. And she shares a ton of stories, but she says this. We hide how we really feel so that we don't risk being alone, only to feel alone and then ever living behind a mask with a smile on our face. She talks about how there's an aspect of we don't live in this. We're often taught that we can't share unless we're happy. We don't feel like somebody wants to hear our garbage. It's not garbage, but they don't really want to know how I'm feeling. Do they really have the capability? Do they really want to listen? And so here's what, social media has conditioned us to go, I want you to share the good. I want you to share the good, share the funny, share all the great, right? She goes, we're responsible for the inner. So let me back up. There's so much that I could read here, and I'm not going to read all of it. Here's what she's basically saying in this chapter. When you don't feel great, it is not wrong to have an emotion of sadness or anger or frustration, right? What she's saying is there's an aspect of understanding how and when to talk about it and who to talk about it with. And I loved, she's teaching on how to, just let me read a couple things. She goes, our lives unfold exactly as they should. The most important part we need to play in our journey for that is to happen is we have to show up truly as who we are along the way. She goes, it's so easy to forget that social media is often just a cover and not actually a book of how someone is actually truly feeling. We feel like we know how people are feeling, right? So here's what she is teaching you in this chapter. She goes, I want you to, when somebody asks you, how are you feeling? If you're feeling great, awesome. Like you're feeling great. But if you truly are not, and you have friends that you trust or people in your life that you trust, here is a tool to how you can actually talk about how you're feeling and actually get some insight. Sometimes people just air it all over the place and somebody's not ready for it, right? So she does something with her friends and she says it's called the capacity check. You can do this with your spouse, your best friend, whoever you feel safe talking to. She goes, I do a capacity check with my friends. And a capacity check is when somebody asks how I'm feeling, and if I truly want to share with them, like if I'm not doing well, I will say, she says, do you have the capacity right now in your own life to listen to how I'm actually feeling, right? And her friend knows, because they've talked about this, or her spouse, like they might go, I actually don't. How does she explain it? Let me just read it. She goes, when I do a capacity check with my friends, if the answer is yes, we hop right on a phone call and we dive right into a conversation. When the answer is no, then we agree to let the other one know when we have the time or the mental or emotional capacity that's freed up. For example, of how to say no might be something like this. I value you so much today and I'm running on empty. Can we set a different time to chat so that I can give you my full attention? I'd really like to be there for you fully. And you can do this to other people. Do you ever have some in your life that like, you feel like the energy drains you, right? Or does this make sense? Like she just simply says this, like there's an aspect of we do not have to be happy all the time. And you don't have to show up happy for those. And if you don't show up because you're not happy, you might live this lonely life. This tool of asking somebody, do you have the capacity to listen? Or you being like, I don't have the capacity to listen is a very valuable tool. For sure. I was like, this is good. But she also says, you are responsible for the energy that you bring into a room. So being aware of your joy or your anger or your frustration or your emotions plays an impact, right? And she goes, oftentimes some people will respond poorly if they're like, I don't want to listen to you. She goes, those might not be your people, right? Understanding your emotions and how to have this conversation. This chapter is short, but it was simply this. You don't have to hide in your life until you're happy. People are hiding because they feel like they cannot talk to somebody about the loneliness, the sadness. I'm going to say moms, if you're getting ready to be an empty nester or an ego launcher, I would like to say an ego launcher, and how you're feeling. I had this conversation with my daughter the other day. Why do we feel like we constantly have to put on this happy face for people? Because if we don't, then we have to talk about it. Then you might be emotional. You might show your true feelings. And I've had this conversation with my daughter the other day. I said, we've got one that will be leaving in 1.5 to 2 years. And we've gone back and forth with conversations and thoughts. And the other day I said, just so you know, as a first-time mom of getting somebody ready to leave, I don't want you to, there was a conversation of like, well, I want you to be happy and I don't like it when you're frustrated. And I'm like, yeah, but that's how I am right now. I don't have to be. I'm happy that you're going to move on to the next area of your life soon. We're getting to that point. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to work through emotions and I'm going to show you them. So like, are you okay with that? Or do you want me just to pretend to be happy? Right? This could be in a conversation with your spouse or anything in life. Like I'll tell people, I will pretend to be happy, or I'm going to tell you if you want to know how I'm really feeling. Does that make sense? So anyways, this is the book. It's called Worthy. There are lots of times that, I'm just going to say the quote in the beginning. Don't forget that while you're busy doubting yourself or while you're not happy, somebody else is admiring your strength, right? However this speaks to you. I'm going to say that this book is full of stories, and I feel like sometimes I can't truly give you a ton without reading you the entire chapter. So if it's something that you need to find your worthiness in yourself and who you are, and to truly find the greatness that God has created you and has inside of you, get the book. Listen to it. Go through it. I'll do the best that I can to help give you a thought in the morning. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to go through. It's a really thick book. I'm truly enjoying it. If I were to say, am I showing up as my true authentic self here on social media? Not always. No. There are times that I don't want to do a live, but I do it because I know that I get to help one person. I'll tell you that my social media has changed over the last 9 years, and there's times where I want to shut it off and never talk to somebody again, and there's times where I enjoy it. There's a lot of different things that were going on in our life physically, like you don't see it. But I talked to some close friends about it. But like right now, if I were to say, am I happy? Like, am I truly happy in my life? I choose to be happy and I'm joyful. And I know where to find joy and comfort, like praying. I know how to get my mindset in the right space. Am I truly in a space in my life where like things are going great? I'm going to say no. It's not. Like we have challenges in our business. We have challenges in just some relationships. There's a lot of challenges that I'm going through that I don't talk about, but there's certain people that I will talk to about it because they'll give me insight or just listen. And that's part of like doing life with other people, right? So I'm sharing all that because I'm not perfect. You can see my stories, and I love my kids and I do love my life. And there are some challenges that we are truly working through that I'm like this really sucks. I actually hate it. I actually just want to quit. I don't want to walk through it. Nope, I don't want to do it. Because if you don't talk it out, it causes like this ripple effect in other areas of your life. So if I allowed this one area in my life that's not great consume me without talking to somebody else, it would affect all the other areas. And sometimes it does. It affects, me as my emotions, and I lash out at somebody. But for the most part, I'm able to talk about it with certain people to potentially work through it or to come up with a solution. And I'm not pretending that I'm happy all the time. Does this make sense? So I think the book is great. I think it's allowing people to work through who they are, who they want to become, what that looks like, how to find the courage to be the best version of you, how to do it unapologetically, but also walk through emotions that come with it. So grab the book, go through the book, super great. Otherwise, continue to tune into the page, and I will show up the best that I can. I usually put a smile on my face. Doesn't mean I have a smile all the time, but I love to do this. So I love to show up for people. And that's what I've got for you today. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you're already drinking ketones, this flavor will be available today. So you can go grab it if you're a current customer. It's incredible. If you've never tried them, post ketones below. Reach out with questions. I'd love to help you on your journey, whatever that looks like. So we'll talk to you soon. Happy Friday. Bye.